Can we please now go to the question from Assembly Member McCartney, deferred sentences for young people?
Thank you, Chair. The Met and MOPAC are currently exploring 2 pilots of deferred prosecutions. Both are at different stages of development and have slightly different aims. Instead of charging a suspect immediately in a deferred prosecution arrangement, the suspect is given a time-bound opportunity to voluntarily enter into a contract with specific conditions, which, if met, mean the prosecution will not be proceeded with. David Lammy's review into the disproportionality in the criminal justice system suggested that deferred prosecutions could present an opportunity to tackle disproportionality of outcomes in the criminal justice system for BAME communities. I'm working with the Met, the MOJ, CPS, youth offending teams and the Victims Commissioner for London to develop such a pilot in London, including through my London Criminal Justice Board, where this was discussed last week. The scheme, which will not require an admission of guilt by the offender and will help tackle BAME's disproportionality alongside delivering benefits for young offenders and reducing crime. Similarly, in July, a deferred prosecution scheme called Turning Point will be run by the Met along with Cambridge University and Barnet, and then the rest of the BCU, Brent and Harrow. The scheme will be open to juveniles and adults meeting specific criteria, that is, low-level offenders who would not be eligible for prison. It will compare the effectiveness of deferred prosecution to court prosecution and simple cautions in reducing reoffending and delivering better outcomes. The trial will run for 2 years with a full evaluation. There is no proposal to run the trial London-wide at this time. The purpose of the Met's pilot is to test the effectiveness of deferred prosecution schemes in general, looking at reducing reoffending and increasing victim satisfaction, and building an evidence base for policing policy and practice. According to early analysis, existing deferred prosecution schemes which have been trialled in West Midlands and Durham have shown the potential to reduce the harm of crime as well as reoffending, rehabilitate suspected offenders and save the police and criminal justice system costs.
Thank you, and I really welcome this pilot. I think the Durham and West Midlands scheme have shown that victim satisfaction has actually risen dramatically as well, and this is not a soft option because the young people involved will have to undergo intensive one-to-one training and mentoring. So my question really is, does the Met have the resources and that support to actually offer that package of really, deep intervention with these young people?
Well, that's a really important point. It's got to be done properly, and we've seen West Midlands and Durham it being done properly. It appears we have the resources to do this properly. For the pilot, we've been able to procure the required treatment programme with no additional costs, which is good. Barnet's integrated offender management and youth offending teams have been involved in the work taking place there. The Met's working closely with the review officers, custody staff and offender managers, and so at the moment it looks like we've got sufficient resources, but you're right, if you do it on the cheap, it's not going to work properly and it won't be a proper pilot, so we've got to make sure we get it right.
Okay, thank you.